Okay, so now I'm going to talk about Docker image, uh, how to create a Docker image, and so on. And then I'm going to discuss about also Docker volume. So in the last session, I think we discussed about how to work with Docker container and so on. So what is a Docker image? First question. So I'll put it in a very simple way. You have to focus on my demo. Docker image is a collections of files, which we discussed, I think, last time. File system. So this is the one file system, second file system, third file system, and fourth file system. So each Docker image will have at least one file system. Okay, at least one. So here, if you see that Docker image will have always a root file system, which is a base. This will be, you can say, 0. This is 1, 2, 3. Now here you have a root file system. Now here you may have Java. Here you may have Tomcat, and here you may have applications which is running on Tomcat. So this is the objective. This was your objective application. Let's say this can be any Java based application which is running on the Tomcat. Tomcat required Java, and Java required root file system, which is here. This can be Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, SUSE, Kali, or different flavors of like root file system. So these are the collections of file system in one image you may have. Okay, so if you see that here, Docker image, go to the Docker hub. So here, if you say, look at this here. So here you Postgres this application. So must be some on root file system and then applications. Ubuntu is like only directly this one. Okay. So each image will have a multiple file system. What happens when you create a container from image? All this image, okay, all this image get merged together and create a one file system which is called container file system. This is the one container. If you create a second container, you will create one more. They will merge, and here we'll create a one more file system. And on top of that container will be created and root file system. Anyways, this one we have network, bit tree, user, and this will become a container. Are you able to understand that, all of you?
Yes.
So let me prove it. So let me show you one of the image, which is HTTP we try. So where do you find the this file system? So cd var lib docker. Now here you have a multiple directory where you will find it. So docker info, whichever the storage you have. You see here storage driver overlay 2, that means it will be here. So all the file system will come here. Right now it's empty, you see that. Zero right now. So this is the place you will have all the file system. So now docker pull HTTPD. I'm pulling the HTTPD image. Any other image also will be having similar thing. I think 455 pull has happened, right? That means, see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has a 5 file system in this one. Now I'll remove this. Before that, let me show you do-asset -max depth 1. So this is a root file system. So if you go inside that, I think this one I guess 70, 89, 87 MB. Let me check. Go to the div and see here. See here. What is this? All of you? What is this?
Libraries,
No, root file system.
folders. Yeah. Okay.
Root file system. So here, this is the root file system. How do I know how many layers you have? So Docker history. These are the command httpd. See that 1, 2. These are the also file system, but it's a meta file system. Here I know. You have one more command which you can know. Inspect command. Inspect. See here. Don't try to match the ID because here ID and their ID, directory ID will be different. Okay. So these are the file system. Now next statement which I made it, that is when you create a container, all these layers get merged together and create a one layer. Correct now? And then that is a container layer. And that's mounted to the container. So can we see that? So Docker run -d httpd. One container I create. Look at this here. See that? This is the extra one. You see here. This is the merged one. This is the merged one. If you see that here, see merged one. This is your new container. So one container I got it. One more container I'll create. And here you see two containers. Three containers. Right now three. Let me show you. See, three and three extra you got it. So each time when you create a container, all the layers get merged together and merged layer is getting created and that gets mounted to the containers. Are you able to understand that, all of you?
Rajesh, each container will contain all these 4 file system only, right?
Yes,
Means,
all this merge is a merge layer.
yeah, yeah.
So all this will be merged together
Okay.
and you will be having this merge here.
Mm.
Okay. So
And
now,
why do we need that multiple containers?
why do we need? I just creating for demo. I need to run
And
three
in the
Apache,
okay.
three containers, three Apache, so three containers.
Mm.
Correct now?
Rajesh, I got a question.
Yeah.
You're downloading containers and images, but how do you ensure that they are secure? There's no malware, etc. I mean, who maintains them?
Okay. First of all, question is wrong. I'm not downloading a container. I downloaded the image. I pull the image.
And
From
create
image,
container.
I created container. That is the first thing. Second thing, you said who? What is that? What was the question? Who?
No, so we're downloading these images. So my concern is like, who manages them and how do you make sure that these are secure, etc.
Ha. So that's a good question actually. So see, whichever the images I'm downloading from registry. So this hub.docker.com is a public registry. I think if you remember my last session, uh, I discussed about there were multiple registries where you
That's
can
right.
keep the images. So we have a hub which we have Google also, Azure also, AWS also, CR we call it. So I mean Artifactory you can create your own private registry. So yeah, this registry where you have a image. Now I'm downloading from the hub and I'm downloading from official image actually. These all are official. So if you go here, let's just search for HTTPD. I download the official image. That means those who is the product owner of the image, I am getting that image. So they are responsible for security. Now you will create your own image, which we will do that today in this session. Then you will have to be worrying about security. Now security is a big domain. Okay, runtime security, platform security, infra security, network security, image security. So how do you create an image secured way? That's also a process to follow. So when you create an image, you will have to follow that. When they create an image, they'll follow. So this place hub.co.com, you have inbuilt scanner also. So they'll tell you if there's some of the images have some security problem.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so you should not, yeah, that's one thing actually. You should not use some image which you don't trust. So how do I decide which image I should use? So here, number of download and stars. So I don't know. This is a sponsored OSS. First time I'm seeing this. Maybe this is ads. So I go for always official or someone which I develop myself, because you run something and you may compromise your infrastructure also. Got it?
Yeah, thanks, Raj. We'll explain. Thank you.
So what is the image we discuss? How these layers and all we discuss. So now, guys, these layers, whatever the image you have, from that we create a container. This is a read-only layer. And now layer, what is layer? So these are the file system, file system, file system, file system. But in Docker, we call it a layer. That's the reason you might have seen here. Let me show you. Docker inspect HTTP. This is layers. We call it layers. Why? Because it is on top of each other. That means I'll put it in this way. This is the layer 0, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. So when you pull this layer, this one also will come. When you pull this layer, all these three will come. When you pull this, all these two will come. When you pull this, you will come. So here you can tag it this one X image, here Y, Z, M. So when you pull M, you'll get only this. When you pull Z, you get these two. When you pull Y, you get 3. When you get pull Y. So when I pull HTTPD, that means it was tagged to the last layer. So I got this, all this. So here, this is a child layer. This is a parent. This is a child of this parent. This is a child of this parent. This is a super parent. That is how the relationship is coming along. Okay. So now the question was, how do we create an image? Okay. So how to create an image? So there is a two ways to create an image. Okay. One of the way, which is you can say using container, and here using Docker file. Docker file is important. Okay. So first I'll show you how to create an image using container. So I'll put it in a very simple way. My manager came to me and said, Rajesh, I need an image. I said, okay, fine, no problem. Then he said, okay, in image you have to give me Git, root should be Ubuntu. Okay, it should be Git, it should be Apache, it should be Java. I said, okay. He said, how much time it will take? I said 5 minutes. And that's what I am going to create an image. So guys, look at my screen. Docker, I'll create one container, run -itd Ubuntu. So here I created a container from Ubuntu. That's a base image. So these are the base images of official image you can use for the product. So guys, here I created one container. You see here, this is the container. Now container, I got it, and here I will go inside a container. So exit.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.